Hi, my name is Dukas Francis, and this video is basically an introduction to a Coplex project that I've released recently called VMC Remote. It's basically a piece of remote software that works on mobile devices to control your Vista or Windows Media Center. What I'm going to start with here is the basic flavor of the Pocket PC edition. So this is actually targeted at Pocket PC 2003, but as a result works on Windows Mobile 5 and Windows Mobile 6 professional or touchscreen versions. Now that's just loading up now, and so what we'll see when it first starts up is a settings screen that will basically give us the connection options. First of all, we'll need to specify a host. This will be the PC that the server software is running on, which I'll explain in a minute. A port, now there are default ports, again I'll explain in a minute. So the way that I've designed this is to allow multiple connection server types. Now as you see here we have TCP and a dummy connection. The dummy connection is basically used for testing. When it actually goes into release mode it doesn't include the dummy connection, it just includes the TCP connection. The dummy connection has been made to simulate wait times and connection lags and all the rest. Whereas the TCP connection is made to actually connect to a host on a port. Now the two different types of servers that are being factored into this application are MCE controller and VMC controller. Both of these are very popular at the moment. MCE controller has been around for the past few years. It is built on .NET 1.1. It is a system tray. It runs in the sys tray and allows you to actually view a log of what's happening at any time, whether it's connected, what commands are coming through, and it basically works using send keys through to the Media Center window. VMC, on the other hand, is an add-in for Vista Media Center. And because of that it can provide a few more functions, such as giving us feedback on what actually happens when we run a command. Also there is another area of VMC control that allows you to connect to it and just see what's happening, as in get information about what's currently playing and all the rest. Now initially when I started with MCE controller because it was simpler at the time. And I have started using VMC controller now. They both have their ups and downs. MCE controller has a few more commands in the terms of power management, whereas VMC controller has more other commands. Whereas VMC controller has other commands, but also because it runs as an add-in, can't do anything outside the context of Media Center. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use MCE controller just to show you what the interface looks like. So after you press OK, it'll go away, validate the connection, and pass the connection into the remote form, which is loading at the moment. Now, when you see the remote form, okay, here it is. Basically what we have is we have a fairly simple UI. We have our start button up here, or the home button that takes you to the home page, or if you're running MCE controller, will actually start Vista Media Center. We have our live TV, guide, recorded TV, music, DVD, and pictures buttons, and then we have all the other buttons that are used for media and for media controls. What this takes advantage of as well are the control buttons down the bottom here, the navigation buttons. So when you actually press up, down, left, right, and the center button, it actually sends commands up, down, left, right, and OK. As you see, there's a few buttons down here, a few menus down here, the Start, Close Media Center, and the power buttons. These work with MCE controller but don't with VMC controller. Otherwise everything works with both types of connection objects. Now, one of the shortcomings at the moment, MCE controller has a bit of an issue in that it keeps TCP connections open when you're trying to connect. For that reason, what I've had to do is implement a timeout function that actually cuts the time of what I've had to do is implement a timeout function that actually disconnects once there hasn't been any activity for 5 seconds. That way way when the device goes to sleep and comes back out again, the connection on the Pocket PC will have been disposed, or would hopefully have been disposed before it went into sleep, so that the media center is not in a confused state, because that's when we start to get a bit tripped up. Now is the same application running on Windows Mobile 6 standard emulator. Now the difference here is these are different forms on the front end, but they use the same libraries on the back end. I'll go into that a bit later. So what I'll do is I'll just set up another dummy connection with a dummy port. That doesn't work, obviously. Connect through. So the ports now, MCA controller and VMC controller have their own default ports. When you the 5150 is the MCA controller default, and 405000 is the VMC controller default port. Now, as you see here, this interface is very different to what you'd see on the Pocket PC version. The reason for that is we have a keypad, and we don't have buttons on Windows Mobile 6 standard, so because it's not a touchscreen. So what this allows us to do is allows us to use the keypad buttons down the bottom here to actually send commands through to the media center. Now it also does have a more menu here that gives you the recorder TV, home, all the other buttons that were along the top of the other screen, and actually one more. Now another thing that's been built into this is the ability to take into account the screen size. So what I'll do is I'll load up the Windows Mobile 6 standard VGA, or sorry, Square version emulator, landscape emulator, not the Square emulator. But what you'll see straight away once I actually put my settings in, oops. But once I actually put my settings in, it's going to load up that screen again. But this time it's going to be a little bit different, because we have a wider screen, we have more screen real estate. Because we have the QWERTY keyboard, we have more keys. So here we have more options. What we have is the numeric keypad on the side here, as you see, but we also have the indication that the the direction pad up here, the direction pad and the button in the middle can actually be used to control the media center. We also have these buttons on the side here, which in these QWERTY keyboards are not used as number keys. So they're mapped to the other buttons that we were missing before, which were the channel up and channel and volume buttons. And we still have that original menu that was in the smartphone version. So this phone is basically your Samsung Blackjack, Motorola Q9H, Palm equivalent that has that QWERTY keyboard and allows you to have those more buttons, more screen real estate, and hence more functionality than the standard numeric keypad versions in the future. So basically on the screen what I've got here is an image that I've created as a mock-up for VMC controller, but the WPF version. So what it will be is a basic WPF application that will have the same functionalities as the mobile versions and potentially more. What I want to work towards is a hosted functionality, a hosted service that will work with both the mobile and a rich client front end, and provide more than just a remote control, provide the ability to actually control your media center, and even have the content of your media center available from any of the devices in your house. Now that's a long-term goal that I really hope to achieve at some stage in the near future. Well, thank you very much for joining me on this journey. I hope to be constantly releasing new versions of this software. Please continue to look at Coplex, VMC Remote, or my blog for more details. Thank you.